Hi dear students, we are starting the third lesson of this chapter. We are going to learn some calculations. We are going to learn addition, subtraction and multiplication in decimals in this video. Okay, we are starting with the firstly addition and subtraction. It is very easy, you know it before, but for review we need to remember this one. To add and subtract decimals, you must take that the decimal points are lined up. That's the most important rule. So while we are adding decimals, we have to line up them. So we are going to write one below another. So we are going to write downward. That's the most important part. And while we are writing downward, we are going to put the decimal points in same point. I mean in line up. Okay, we started with 4.9 plus 2.15, and as you see, we have to firstly bring the decimal points in the same line, then we are going to add them. But before starting to that one, if this is 2 decimal place, you may complete your number to 2 decimal place also. In addition, it is not very important, but in subtraction it should be like that. Okay, then you know 0 plus 5 it's equal to 5. 9 plus 1 it's equal to 10, and we are writing here 0 and we have 1 in hand, and here we are writing one decimal point. Then 1 plus 4 plus 2 it's going to be equal to 7, so the answer is 7.05 going to be. Okay, if we do the second same operation for the second one, 4.70, because it is 2 decimal place, the second one, minus 2.46. If we say, we are going to do like normal subtraction operation, like there is no decimal point, and I'm going to place the decimal point directly here. The rest of it, like normal subtraction, it's going to be 0 cannot be subtracted, so we are going to get 1/10 from the previous, and then it's going to be equal to 10 minus 6 is equal to 4. It's going to be, we have already taken minus 1 from here, so that's why this is going to be 6 minus 4 it's going to be equal to 6 minus 4 it's going to be equal to 2. We don't have anything to add or subtract from this side, so 4 minus 2 it's going to be equal to 2. So the answer is 2.24 going to be. Okay, multiplying by a decimal, here the important part, we are going to multiply like there is no decimal point, then we are going to add the number of, with respect to number of decimal point to the result. I'm going to explain how it is. Firstly, I'm going to multiply 0.7 times 7 times 9. As I said before, I'm going to multiply like there is no decimal, so the 7 times 9, which is equal to 63. So I'm going to write first the answer 63. Then I'm going to count how many decimal points there are, how many decimal places we have. 1 decimal place, so I'm going to count from here to this part, from the, we are accepting, you know, at the end, and it's going to be 1 decimal place again. 1 decimal place, it means that our decimal point, it's going to be here. We are going to place our decimal point here, like this one. If it is 1 decimal place, it's going to be 1 decimal place, so it's going to be equal to 6.3. Okay, we are multiplying again integer by decimal. Again, like there is no, we are going to multiply 15 times, this is the B1, 15 times 0.06. If we say like the previous one I told here, 15 times 6. First I'm going to calculate 15 times 6, it's going to be equal to 90. So first I'm going to write the answer as 90 here. Then I'm going to count the decimal points and I'm going to place the decimal points here. 15 times 6 is equal to 90. Now I'm counting the decimal places. If there are 2 decimal places, as you see here, there are 2 decimal places, so the answer, it should be with 2 decimal places. Here it's going to be 2 decimal place, so the 2 decimal place, sorry, and the answer, it's going to be 0.90, or you can write 0.90, or you can write 0.9, because at the end, if we have 0, we may cancel them. Okay, the third one, the C1, if we solve, this is new type of exercise. We should understand firstly that one. 0.7 times 0.6, both of them has decimal place. These two, they were integers, and this is different. If both of the number is decimal number, we have to count the decimal, and we have to add the decimal places to the result. I'm going to explain how it's going to be. Like in the previous one, like there's no decimal, we are going to count, we are going to multiply them. What is 7 times 6, which is equal to 42? So I'm going to write first the 42 to the answer, and here this part is important. There is 1 decimal place here, and there is 1 decimal place here. So the answer has going to 1 plus 1 decimal place. 1 plus 1 decimal place, it should be. Decimal place. So we are going to put the point here from left to right. We are counting 1 decimal place, 1 decimal place. So here it's going to be 0.42. And I'm going to solve one more exercise about that one. And we are going to finish the video. Here, I'm going to do that one, from this part. Firstly, as I said, we are going to multiply, let's say, 1.2 times 4. Let's multiply this one here. 1.2 times 0.4 we are going to multiply, times 0.4 we are going to multiply like there is no, we are going to place like there is no decimal point here. It's going to be in this one, 12 times 4, which is equal to 48. So I'm writing the 48 first to the answer. Then I'm counting here, there is 1 decimal point, 1 plus 1, 2 decimal point. It's going to be here. Sorry, I'm going to do the other side, all the arrows. I'm sorry. Here 1 decimal place, we are counting 1 decimal place, 1 decimal place, 1 decimal place, again 1 plus 1, 2 decimal place it's going to be, and which is equal to 2 decimal place means from the end. If we put the point here, the answer it's going to be 0. I have to clean this part, and one more time maybe to write. The answer it's going to be 0.48 because of the answer 2 decimal place it should be. Why it should be 2 decimal place? Because of the multiplication rule. Okay, so the answer it's going to be equal to 0.48 for this one. Here the F1, for the F1 the answer it's going to be 3 decimal place, and for the E1 the answer it's going to be 3 decimal place, because here we have 2 decimal place and here we have 1 decimal place. So the answer it should be with 3 decimal place. That's also important. Before the end of the video I wanted to tell that one.